Hello everybody and welcome to a video about how to edit to the beat using vMix. But what does edit to the beat actually mean? Well, it looks like this. You might be wondering what all this is, but this is basically just a overlay that I have when I'm showcasing my B-roll. Let's actually remove this little thing, but edit to the beat basically means that you're making cuts to your video to basically move to a different transition during high sparks of the audio music. And all of this can easily be automated. It only needs one input and a bunch of various picture, wallpapers or video inputs that you want to transition between. So here I have a audio. This is basically just an audio file, the thing that you see in the preview, the thing that you see in yellow. 1 minute intro MP3. If we go to the cogwheel, vMix has this little trigger function. And if you look at the triggers, you see here that there's a trigger on the audio meter on the decibel 12. You can choose between decibel 6, 12 and 18. Now the decibel is that as the volume goes up, it reaches different decibel numbers, and the highest of those among the ones you can choose is decibel 6, and the lowest among the ones you can choose between are the decibel 18, and the middle ground, which I kind of prefer, is decibel 12. And then you have here the function is going to be overlay to the overlay number 3, and I'm going to overlay what's inside the preview. And then we have another trigger on decibel 12 again to preview input next to the preview. And then I basically have a transition, and when I transition into this audio, I start the recording. By the way, you could also have something like on complete stop recording. So now we've added a stop recording on the on-complete. Let's showcase how this looks like by going over here and putting desktop capture into the layers of that audio file, and let's zoom out on overlay number 3. Now if you look over here in the bar here, you can see that it's moving preview window all the time. I know that it sounds a little bit more loud compared to my normal voice, but it needs to be that to hit the audio sparked of decibel 12, so it triggers the system to change the preview. What I really like about this setup is that it's completely drag and drop. I can basically go into one of my many folders, drag and drop these pictures straight into the vMix production, and then all that I need to do is put this whatever this is, into the output. So now you're only seeing dices. I put the audio into the preview and I make a cut. And now you're going to hear all of that sound. So that is really nice. It's really fast and really simple. Just drag and drop. But you can also customize the order in how they're going to be showcased. For example, I can put the vMix logos first, then the YouTube logos second, and then maybe the Stream Deck later. And it's going to go one by one, preview next in the input correct order. But you can also be a little bit creative here and expand on this concept ID and put those effects to your microphone input. So to my microphone, I have now added that I'm gonna preview next, and you can actually see that things are happening in the background already, and I'm gonna overlay to overlay number 3 as well. Alright, no hands guys. As you can see, the pictures here are constantly changing as I'm speaking tiny bit, and yeah, it goes a little bit like that. It's not like perfect cuts, but as you can see, you can basically sit there and talk about, I don't know what you're going to talk about in your own production, but suddenly you can make a sequence of things just popping up during your talk, so to say. Kinda cute. But there is a problem to this setup. If you specifically look at the audio meter from my own voice, that is what's causing the triggers. But if the audio meter doesn't go down below the 12 decibels, it doesn't make any cuts because it kind of needs to reset, so to say. So if you have a music file that goes up to above audio decibel 12, it's going to trigger. But if the audio level also stays up there for like the eternity of that music song, it will never make any swaps whatsoever because the audio has to drop down below 12 decibels and then go up to 12 decibels to trigger again. So what you want to have are music that are basically going up and down heavily. This is how that audio file looks like inside Audacity. As you can see, it has some downs and some ups. And in those downs and ups, or actually in those ups, those high peaks, it triggers. And in those downs, it resets. What you're currently looking at here, down below the top one, is another music file, quite famous, called Final Boss from Mew. It's going to make a few cuts in the beginning of the audio. As you can see, it has some really high ups and some really good downs. But when it reaches this part, it just won't make any cuts anymore. It will stay with the same picture forever, as the audio level will never drop down below 12 decibels. But if you tweak the audio meters to change from 12 to 6, and we edit, and we change this one as well, and we edit, you're going to have this result instead. What is also really nice before we start, I want to showcase this. If you go to the cogwheel and you go to general and you go to change, you can change the audio music file that you have to any one of your music songs that you want to play. So we can easily change it to Final Boss Mew and still keep all the triggers that we already implemented on this input. And in this example, we're gonna use these wallpapers right here. However, I think I need to duplicate it a little bit because this is a really long song and I might need some more inputs to go through to complete the entire video. We're not gonna listen to the entire song though. We're just gonna watch at how it changes during the higher end of the music. So this is how the finalized product looks inside my editing program of DaVinci Resolve. And as you can see here, it changes the wallpaper a few times in the beginning of the video with some space between them. And then right here, it makes a change to this picture and it stays with this picture for a little period of time in this lower section of the audio. And then boom, here, when the audio sparks, it changes itself. And then it changes a few times with a frequent part of it during the higher end of the audio during the video. And because you can sequence this that I showcased before, you can basically time it. You can basically sit and listen to the audio as it goes and watch how many transitions it's making before it reaches the higher peak of the audio. So you can sit and plan these inputs, these ones, all the way to the number that you need to have and make where this audio spike happens, where the big boom goes and the intensity of the music increases. You start with different kind of inputs where the intensity of what you want to showcase increases. So you have a build-up sequence and then you have the intense sequence of more focused inputs with all wallpapers, so to say, all depending on what form of video that you're making, of course. I hope this video helps out with your B-rolls, for your intros, for your videos. That's it for me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.